yeah, I like that bit of business. I think he's gone really well.
He's one of their shining lights.
He's only going to get better. Definitely. Witness winger Ryan Ince has signed a new 2-year deal. Classic is
we
back.
We need a noise or something for Witness 2-year.
Two-year
or like a Viking horn or something.
Keeping him at the Vikings until the end of the 2020 season. The 21-year-old averages a try every 2 games for the Vikings at first team level since making his senior debut in 2016 against Hull FC.
Good luck to him. Warrington Wolves utility Harvey Levett has signed a 2-year contract extension with the Super League club after turning down offers to play in the NRL.
I mean, that's a really good deal for them because he's starting to look like a player who's really got a lot of potential in pretty much any position on the field other than you'd be happy to put him in at and think he'll have a good go. But the most interesting thing for me about Harvey Levett is how he's obviously is similarly skin tone to myself, and he's had that new haircut where his hair's really, really, really short around the sides and the back. And all it's really meant is he's got a ridiculous freckle line around where the hair would normally be. And when he was interviewed on Sky after his Man of the Match performance on Friday night, I just loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, great player, and it's good that we can keep him in Super League rather than going and sort of going and sitting on the bench for someone in the NRL or going out and playing for a second tier side out there.
I completely agree.
It's the controversial one coming on to the next story.
Yeah, Catalan Dragons have signed back rower Kenny Edwards, who was released by NRL side Parramatta Eels last week and faces a charge of driving on a suspended licence in Australia, so he's going to have to pop back to Australia to deal with those charges. He was stood down by the Eels when they were made aware of the incident, with the New Zealander then requesting to be released from his contract. He joins Catalans on an 18-month deal. I mean, driving without a licence is a pretty bad thing, but it's not the only thing in the...
His Wikipedia entry requires some reading and a bit of cross-referencing, because there's a fair charge sheet of stories in there.
It's trying to pick out which is his worst offence, really, isn't it? There was the time when he took a drugs test for a teammate, not where he got a ban for that. There was the 6 week. There was the, I think was it a £60,000 fine he received 18 months ago for a domestic violence charge. Now, he wasn't actually convicted or anything by the police. He was just given kind of a good behaviour notice. It seems to involve him pouring drinks over his ex-partner. Obviously not the kind of behaviour that is savoury. There's worse examples of that sort of behaviour, but it's not the kind of behaviour you want to see in any way, shape or form anyway. So it's a bit of a checkered past for this guy. I'm sure that he'll be given the big ones by all the media though. And
Catalan is fast becoming the place for that sort of thing. Did see a comment on the internet today saying it's becoming a sort of reverse penal colony. That now that's where they've been. Interesting other rumour that's come out of Catalan, a certain signature of a man of the people, Mr. Anthony Gelling, rumoured to be heading there for next year.
Well, that would be entertaining, and he's obviously also had his indiscretions in the past, but he seems to be well over those now and is just an entertaining, like I say, man.
I want him back. I want the comedy and all the randoms, because he is one of those people that you hear a story about him and you know it's instantly true if it's that bizarre.
Yeah, you do sort of miss him. And getting over the language barrier and stuff like that, I'm sure would be an absolute hoot from his Instagram videos and that sort of stuff that he'd be able to pull out of those things for sure, Anthony Gelling. But Kenny Edwards, do you think we should be opening our arms so wide to signing these players into Super League, or
I struggle to get excited.
Do we not have much choice?
I think it's a market forces kind of thing, and that Catalan, because of the, I think isn't it because of differences in getting a French visa, which what makes it mildly easier for them compared to the getting a visa in this country.
Potentially, I mean, he doesn't have a proper criminal record, does he? Because he wasn't convicted of anything, so that had worked in his favour of that, and obviously the other things were kind of non-criminal indiscretions. I don't know where it stands on the, being willing to take someone else's drug test for them. That seems a bit fraudulent and stuff to me, but I'm not sure which one I think's worse out of the three, if I'm honest. I don't like that it's so easy for him to walk out of a deal over there and walk into a deal over here. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one. Obviously, I think he will do fairly well because he's got a fairly game that will be suited to it, to their sort of play.
Well, one thing's for sure, the two back rowers were outstanding on. The two starting back rowers were outstanding against the Leeds Rhinos on Saturday. So obviously they've been buoyed by this news and want to
up their game,
head off the challenge with their on the field performances. So that's at least a positive for the Catalans. What's been going on in the Championship?
Yep. So Leeds Centurions have named Kieran Purtill as the club's head coach on a permanent basis following a successful spell as interim coach. The former league captain took over following the resignation of Neil Dukes earlier in the season.
Do you know what? When this news was announced, I wanted to change my tip from Lee to Toronto for this weekend's game because it was just inevitable that the run that he'd been on would come to an end when he became permanent coach. But I think it's sensible that he continues in the role. I just think it was pointless confirming it until after the end of the season, in my opinion.
You may as well have kept.
It was working.
Yeah, you may as well have kept him on as interim and then decided and then.
You could have even told him what was going on and kind of like just not made a hoo-ha about it, maybe.
I mean, it would be unlikely to keep something quiet, though, wouldn't it? It would be very against their nature as a. Although Kieran Purtill, possibly the owner of the second scariest eyes in Rugby League now, behind Ryan Sheridan, of course. Who else is going to? Some of the shots where they were panning onto him on the TV on Saturday night, it was actually genuinely giving me a little bit of a cold shake. And I was like, oh, hello. This is
well, John Wilkin named him as the player that he'd most as the person associated with any other club that he'd most likely to go on a night out with, just because of the way he looks. He looks like he'd have a mental time. The Batley Bulldogs.
You have to take Sheridan with you as well, and just to see what headwear he'd wear on a night out. Because do you think he'd go for like a sort of Peaky Blinders style Baker cap or a flat cap or something like you do see some lads?
I'd love him to get into like a head coaching position and then be in a final.
Yes.
So he's going to have to meet like the royal dignitaries or whatever. And would he take his hat off or not? And could we see what was underneath? The Batley Bulldogs have announced the signing of hooker Rhys Butterworth on a 1-month loan deal. The hooker, who can also play halfback, joins from League One side Bradford after coming through their academy. So Batley must be a bit desperate for numbers if they're signing people from the league below. But Butterworth looks like a real talent.
He did acquit himself well yesterday as well, didn't
he? He wasn't terrible.
Yep.
He got involved. I think he set up one of the tries. Did he score?
I think he scored. Yeah.
He did something. Yeah. But to be honest, even though I saw the whole of that game, I don't remember it very well. And I wasn't even drunk for that game. I'd sobered up by that point. The other League One news I wanted to sort of touch on, though, was Swinton Lions have announced that second rower, Matt Sars... Sorry, the Championship news. Didn't I say League One?
You did, because
jumping ahead of myself.
You jumped ahead 6 months, haven't you?
Yeah. Sorry to Swinton fans. But this is an interesting story, and straight away it made me think certain things, and the quotes that have come out about it since make me think even more so. So Swinton Lions have announced second rower Matt Sarsfield has left the club by mutual consent. The number 12 joined Swinton at the start of the 2016 season and has made 8 appearances for the side in 2018. He's also played in the past for Salford, Dewsbury and Halifax. And this is what his coach, Stuart Litter, had to say. He said, Matt is obviously a quality player who over the past few years has been unlucky with injuries. Opportunities sometimes arrive for people outside of rugby, and I don't know what Matt will do next. We've come to a mutual agreement and he's free to do whatever he likes with rugby or anything else.
That sounds interesting.
People who follow any sort of gossip rags or anything like that, and I just know because my wife has a weird... She doesn't like the celebrity culture and the reality TV culture, save for one particular individual, and possibly because that individual has got a very local accent to our area, being that she grew up in the next town along from us. But Charlotte Dawson goes out with Matt Sarsfield, doesn't she? They've been in a bit of an on-off relationship.
I'll be honest, I don't even know who Charlotte Dawson is, so I'll have to take your word for that.
Oh, right, okay. Well, she's been on all them sort of reality shows about shagging people, basically. I want to make sure I'm calling the right name now, because I don't want to be besmirching someone else with the same name. She's not very high up on the list of people that come up. So yeah, Charlotte Dawson. So she's Les Dawson's daughter.
Ooh.
But Les Dawson died when she was very, very little. I think she was just a baby, maybe. But anyway, that's Matt Sarsfield's girlfriend. So when it talked about whatever he wants to do, whether it be in Rugby League or anywhere else, I just thought there's a reality TV show coming here for Matt and Charlotte's big day or something, because I think they've been on and off engaged as well for a while. You occasionally see the two of them stepping out around the Fylde coast. Anyway, so you go. Do you want to take us on to the actual League One news?
So current League One news. League One side Newcastle Thunder have today announced the signing of scrum half Remy Marginet until the end of the season. The international player will link up from Elite One Championship side Palau Bronco, and played 7 times for the Sheffield Eagles in 2017. He was also part of the 2017 Rugby League World Cup side for the French.
Leeds Centurions forward Carl Lovett has linked up with Workington Town, joining the League One side on a 1-month loan. He's gone from playing half a dozen or so for the West Tigers in the NRL in 2017 to playing for League One Workington in 2018.
That's an interesting career path. Hunslet have announced that trio Dean Roberts, Sean Roberts and Jordan Gill have left the club by mutual consent.
The RF...
Gilly is an ex-Oxford player, so do know him. So all the best to all 3 of those in their future career.
So when I asked you before if there was anything you wanted to flag up, you just let me talk over you, thinking we were going on.
Well,
come on.
as long as
we didn't know
as
how
long as his
fall,
future career doesn't involve catching high balls, he'll be fine.
Fair enough. RFL chairman Brian Barwick has been named chair of the board for the 2021 Rugby League World Cup, replacing Nigel Wood. The former CEO of the Football Association, Barwick chaired the successful bid for the tournament and has been a director of the tournament since its inception, so he's taken over the top role there, but I'm assuming that it only involves half a day's work a week, because let's all face it, Brian Barwick doesn't work more than that.
I was like, he's still involved. I'd forgotten about him. We've put him in a cupboard somewhere.
Origin squads. So you're a New South Wales Blues fan. I think many people who listen to the show over the years will have picked up on that, Tim. So do you want to run through the Blues team and extended bench?
Yeah, so starting for the Blues, fullback number 1, James Tedesco. On the wing, they've got Tommy Turbo, Tom Torovic, Latrell Mitchell, James Roberts and Josh Addo-Carr. Finish the back line for them. In the halves, it's James Maloney and Nathan Cleary. David Clemmer starting at prop, Damien Cook in the 9, Campbell Gillard starting at 10, Boyd Cordner captaining from the second row along with Tyson Frizzell, who's both Welsh and New South Welsh, and Jack de Bellin at the loose forward jersey. On the interchange bench, they've got Paul Vaughan, Jake Travojevic, Angus Crichton, the piano player himself, Tyrone Peachy, and Tarek Sims and Nick Cottridge as the reserves.
So what's your reaction to that side? Are you happy with
I'm
that
quite
side?
pleased with that side, especially the back line's quite good. I'm glad to see Cleary given a shot. I think that's well deserved. Clemmer starting is a big call. It's someone who you'd probably look to as a bench forward traditionally, but I think given the various retirements, injuries, whatever, he's now got to step up. So that's his.
Well, it's both of them, Clemmer and Campbell Gillard. They're similar to me. I thought they were both more impact players off the bench, but like you say, well, Paul Vaughan though could have started.
Yeah,
he's one of the shocks in this side for me, because I can't see that he's much of an impact player anyway. But he's playing for the form side at the top of the table, isn't he? So that'll be why he's got the nod, I assume.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, see Angus Crichton come in as well. That's another one that's quite interesting. And both the turbos starting, that's quite good. And Tedesco At fullback, that's pretty unarguable. So yeah, I'm quite happy.